Welcome to W. Joe's Poetry Corner on Karaoke Night.
Woo!
Karaoke Night. My name's Reeves. I'm standing in for the Right Reverend W. Joe Hoppe. He likes to call me that title, but he's the one that now that I understand has ordination.
Yeah.
That's right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so let's hear it for Reverend Joe.
Praise
Peace to you, Brother Joe. We're remembering you in your absence. As Jesus said, whenever two or more are gathered together. So here we go. Yeah, I'm new to this too myself tonight, so looks like part of the essential nature here is the randomness, so that we have each selected from the 20-sided letter die with a letter, and I either chose a poet whose name begins with, whose last name begins with that letter, or the first name begins with that letter.
Polly rules.
That's right, that's right. Tonight we're playing under the rules of Miss Polly Monear, the international Polly rules, not the more traditional and conservative Republican rules of W. Joe Hoppe. So bless us one and all. Yes, so Polly allows us to choose a poet whose name might begin with the first or the last letter.
What'd you roll, Brett?
And well, I rolled, as it turned out, I rolled the lucky W, VV, right? I rolled the W. And so I went to my brother, W. Joe Hoppe, and I found a book. Of course, our brother Joe Bratcher encouraged me to not simply go for my first choice, which would have been the Michael Collins poem, The Sweet One, about the guy who did not get to set foot on the moon while Neil Armstrong danced a jig. Instead, turned at random to a page and found a poem that also begins with a W. And this poem is called Werewolf. Say that again. Werewolf. When you're 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 years old, and the air will not come, it will not return to your lungs. Full moon forest of your bronchioles, a dark and cluttered place. The horror you want is the one that howls. Full breath unleashed into a powerful beast. Red blood rampant with oxygen, running through a wilderness where there's nothing you're allergic to. Brother Joe Hoppe from Diamond Plate. All right, tonight we're playing with Polly's rules. Polly, who's up next?
We got Maureen with the letter N.
All right, come on, Maureen. Tell us what N stands for.
N. N is for Gerald Nicosia. Nicosia, thank you, sorry. Gerald Nicosia, and I'm reading from Lunatics, Lovers, Poets, Vets, and Bar Girls. And I chose to read a poem called Marin, Real Estate Agent. Suzanne can move worlds. When she lifts her laden fingers carrying daughter and cats and how many boyfriends, making peace with her mother, teaching California to sing like Ohio where beaches are for suntans, no fooling around, and horses are for jumping. She moves in many worlds, tells Florida where to go, keeps Europe always an option, dreams of a farmhouse in New England, settles, like the rest of us, for 2 bedrooms and an old-fashioned kitchen. But is ever on the lookout, just in case you know of one, for a house on a hilltop of serenity with gingerbread windows, a sturdy slate roof, and a fireplace aglow with passion.
What was that last line again?
Aglow with passion.
Glow with passion.
Yes.
Yeah. I love that.
So next up, we got Dr. Joe with the letter P. And Joe.
All right. So I got the letter P, and I chose the French surrealist poet Benjamin Péret, and I asked another member of the audience to pick a number for the page. They picked 44. So 44 is blank. So I'm going to read page 45 because I want to do something. Face to be smacked. Oh, how the bones are thin in rainy weather, when the nurseries of Greek noses resound with the shrill squeal of red eggs, which sometimes cry beefsteak tears perfumed like a beast of burden, when the apples seek redress, and when the spectacles poke out the eyes of the ministers of the Third Republic, where the princes hide like chipped pots in recesses of the cupboards, with the newborn bastards of the servant girl who doesn't want to be turned out. Oh, how the bones are fat when the Chinese lanterns of felt yawn like beams, when the belly buttons have their beards and hair trimmed, at the neighborhood shearer who has never seen such poodles trained so well to swallow sugar like blind men on the corner of a quay, bicycles in a cemetery, or musicians in the gutter.
Right.
And
What's the
then-
best line there, Joe? What's the best line in there? There were a bunch of
Musicians in the gutter.
musicians in the gutter.
Sounds like my house.
Who's up, Polly?
We got Schandra rocking the letter J.
Jay.
Jay.
So for Jay, I picked Saturn by Simon Jacobs. It's some prose poetry about David Bowie. It's fictional, but it was written before he died, so it's kind of spooky now.
The poet's dead?
No, David Bowie.
Oh.
The poet wrote it before he died, too, though.
I would presume so, yeah, that would make sense.
So they've met.
So it's prose poetry, so it kind of sounds fictional. David Bowie takes a commercial space flight. It has taken over 50 years to reach this point. When David Bowie hears the countdown in his headset, each number hits him like a cold bullet and brings him a step closer to 1969, to his first hit, to the inside joke that made him a star. Later, as they're unraveled into orbit, the 60-minute spacewalk for which he's paid almost everything, David Bowie turns slowly into less than gravity to face his wife, Somali supermodel Iman, for whom he has written songs unlike this one, only to find that in her spacesuit and helmet she has lost virtually all form. A voice crackles through his headset, "I love you, Dave," but it is a voice that he doesn't recognize. He reaches out and touches her shoulder through 6 layers of Gore-Tex, nylon, and mylar. The sensation is like pressing into a fossil. The line revisits him long after he could be expected to respond. He sings, "Tell my wife I love her very much, she knows." But beyond its topicality and obvious self-reference, Iman knows the truth, just as she knows exactly when her husband was lost to the distant past. And as they unspool from each other, David Bowie looks down at the glowing surface beneath them and realizes his mistake. Planet Earth is blue and white and green and yellow. When he returns home, he will begin painting again. Somewhere over Tucson, Arizona, a star falls from the sky.
Next up is me with the letter I.
All right.
Okay, so I selected Lauren Ireland, and this is her collection of poems. Title of the collection is The Arrow. She has a lot that start with I, so I wanted to just really drag it out with that I. So here's the poem, I Love Drugs, for Scott Larner and Leah Stein.
Just a second, Polly. I think we're having some sound.
I think we just have a reading of these titles.
Yeah.
Those are really...
Okay, I Love Drugs by Lauren Ireland. Thank you for calming me down. Thank you for making me believe that everything is okay, even though everything has never been more not okay, ever in my life. Everyone on the C train is dead. Let's do something. You look so beautiful. Leah is beautiful. I am beautiful. We are reclining in our own ways in front of unbeautiful men. The universe wheels on fire in my kitchen, and the party has birthed another evil party. Well, says Scott, well, you are a thing from the stars. I am. Even our vomit glitters. Why are your drugs so bad? Grow up, get better drugs. Ride the C train. You know what happens next. I can hear you. And then we've got Stephanie with the letter D.
So I'm going to read a poem by Diane Seuss. This is from her book Four-Legged Girl, out from Grey Wolf. This poem is called Laundromat Hit by Tornado. The bride died. The girl in love with milkweed pods and God died laundering her sunbonnet. The baby born into the hands of fog and nuns who falsely claimed she was Chinese died. She was not Chinese. 3 dogs sparring over a stolen bone died. Young wife died up to her nipples in dirty diapers. Widow died, bleaching her dead husband's shirts for donation. Lonely lady died, skewered on her loneliness. Liar spiked on her lie. Teenage girl died contemplating her hitchhike thumb. Hussy died, watching her husband stealing clothes spiral in the dryer. I strode shoeless from the rubble with my wicker hamper of folded clothes, having survived the twister of my foolishness, the funnel cloud of my warped desire.
Wow.
All right. So that's round 1.
Yeah.